Howdy folks, I'm Scoryth, the Crimson Renegade, and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII. If I seem extra perky today, for some reason, I'm actually extra perky. I don't know why. I'm feeling pretty good today. I don't really know what's going on, but I'm in a really good mood right now, so yay me. You might recognize, I want to point this out real quick before I move on, you might recognize this area. I pointed this out a little bit in the last episode, but you should be able to see it more evident now. If I head over past this over here, and ignore Kate Sith at the moment, you can't really see it, but just past all these metal scaffoldings and stuff, this is where we were after we first met Aerith, when we fell off of the, when we left the Sector 1 reactor, and we separated. We were in that little tunnel, and Jesse set off the bomb, and then we all separated. Barrett go in different directions to meet, and we were going to go back and meet up on the train. And you came out. You talked to Aerith. Since we got the flower, or you can buy a flower from Aerith for a gill. That's the first time we met Aerith, my point. And then we came south, and we ended up here. Well, this is the same area, but as you can see, obviously it's different now because we have all the metal scaffolding up here because it's holding up the Junon cannon. All right. Before I actually move on, I don't think I made any changes from the last episode, but just in case I did make any changes, I'm going to show you what they are. My gear is currently on Cloud the Excalibur, Escort Guard, and Circlet. Max Ray, Shinra Alpha, and Water Ring for water absorption. And God's Hand, Imperial Guard, and Ribbon on Tifa. As you see, the Escort Guard has Lightning, Earth, Water, and Poison Nullification. For Materia, Excalibur has 6 slots. They're all separated, they're not pairs, so I went ahead and just put my Master Materia up here. Restore, Lightning, and Fire. Enemy Skill for multi-targeting magic. Steel, because we do want to do some stealing. Which, by the way, I need to put my steel list. Give me a second here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I think we should be good at this point. Yeah, we're plenty good. Yeah, we are plenty good. Okay, steel, and then double cut, because when I do attack, I'm going to do a double attack. I have contain, manipulate, restore all, the way I do have multi-targeting healing with him, even though I already have another restore material up here. Hades, and added effect for basically an extra ribbon, so Cloud will be resistant to the status ailments that Hades puts out. Barrett is my backup mage. Restore all, lightning all, and fire all. Enemy skill, steel. Fire elemental to actually absorb fire elemental damage, and lightning elemental to nullify lightning elemental damage, at least until it levels up. Because he doesn't have any elemental defense except water, so he's got water, fire, and lightning defense on his armor, or defensively. And then Tifa is my main mage with restore all, lightning all, fire all, Ultima, MP absorb, and Comet MP Turbo to boost the damage to that. So she's gonna be my heavy hitter as far as magic is concerned. As you can see, she has all of my mastered materia and mastered all materials as well. So all 3 of these right here are mastered all materials. If I wanted to, I could probably switch Tifa for the premium heart to boost her damage output. But I do want to use her limit break, so that would kind of reduce the effectiveness of the premium heart. The reason I say that is because the premium heart has no AP growth for materia, so you want to put mastered materia up there because there's no point in them getting any more AP anyway. I would put them up there, including with the alls. But like I said, I want the. I'd rather have the damage that God's Hand can deal, because I do want to use Tifa's limit breaks when I get them. If you remember, I said the premium heart damage is based on how much her limit bar is filled. So obviously, with a full limit gauge, the premium heart does a maximum amount of, well, not maximum, but does a highest amount of damage possible. But then she would be able to use her limit breaks, because once she did, her attack power would go back down. And again, most of my attacks in this game are usually magic based. I don't do a whole lot of physical attacking, so I'd rather have the slots and the AP growth. And so that's my setup. I want to make sure it's been a few days since I've actually recorded, so I wanted to go ahead and make sure I point out my changes if I did make any between episodes. One thing I do want to point out here is that this save point if you want to get Barrett's ultimate weapon, make sure you put him in your party now at this save point. Because if you go up these stairs and go to the next screen and you don't have him in your party, you will miss the opportunity to get his ultimate weapon. And I believe that if you don't have him in the party, go up to this next screen and then come back and get him and then go back up there again, it will still be gone. So you need to make sure that you have him in your party now before you transition to the next screen. So let's go up here and talk to Kate Sith, or go into a fight real quick. Here's the Gross Ponzer again. I'll go ahead and just cut this out real quick. Alright, I have good news. After that last battle, my contained materia leveled up again, so I should have all four abilities that the contained materia has. There it is. Freeze, Break, Tornado, and Flare. So now we have access to Flare. Let's see exactly what it does. Magic. Flare. Massively powerful fire elemental attack. So, essentially from what I understand right, like I said before, essentially this is like a tier 4 magic, where you got Fire, Fire, and Firaga. Those are the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 magics. Essentially, Flare is the tier 4 version of Fire. So, we got that one done. And they now Contain has learned all of its magic, which is really nice. Okay, let's go up here and now let's talk to him. Kate will move on. Obviously, if Kate Sith is in your party, he won't be there, and he's got to go all the way up the stairs before he moves on. He's basically trying to follow you up, trying to lead you up the stairs. Not he's trying to lead you in a trap or anything. You already know where you're going. You're going to fight Hojo. I need to check my list one more time here real quick to make sure that I give you guys the correct information on the ultimate weapons, because we're, like I said, we're about to get Barrett's ultimate weapon. Let's see. I forget what it's called, so let me grab it real quick. So let's continue up the stairs. And remember, like I said, I believe you have to have Barrett in your party before you transition to the next screen here. If you do not have him in the party, you will not be able to get it. Let's move up here. Oh, hey, look, here's Vincent. I didn't know he'd be here. Usually I have Vincent, Usually I have Vincent in my party at this point. That's why I'm kind of surprised he's here. That's cool. Alright, what do we got here? Okay, here's a cannon. Apparently all they have is weapons and machines on this thing here. Oh, hey, look, we've seen that before. I think it's going to search all three of us. It's basically locking on target, just like the Scorpion, the guard Scorpion way back at the very Sector 1 reactor. I'm going to go ahead and go Thundogger on this all because it is a machine. It should be weak to thunder magic all around. It's going to do a countdown here, and it's going to launch once the countdown is complete, it's going to launch an attack on all of us at once. The attack should not really be that devastating, I don't believe. It is a multi-targeting, so it's going to hit all of us, but I don't really think it's that powerful. Let's go ahead and throw down. I was counting down. Now it's 3. Yeah, okay, it's changing. Yeah, it's now aiming at us. Let's go ahead and use our. Let's go ahead and show off Flare here. I think this thing's probably X Cannon. There's Ultima. Now there is a chance we can actually encounter an enemy here called Soldier Firsts, which are obviously the Thundaga are the real Soldier First class that Cloud was supposed to have been. These guys will be the strongest that we've encountered so far, and they will be devastatingly powerful. So you want to be very careful with them. We already know that the soldiers that we've encountered so far, the third and second classes do a lot of damage. Well, these first classes will do a lot more as well, so you want to be very careful. You want to take them out quickly. They don't have any, as far as my steel is concerned, they don't have anything impressive. They don't have anything worth stealing, no Shinra armors or anything like that, nothing impressive. So just attack as hard as you can, hit them with your most powerful abilities. Again, I'm not talking about this enemy, I'm talking about the soldier first in case you're lost. This guy just keep hitting with your strongest attacks because he's just, he's going to sit here and take it because you can see he did like, what, 200 damage per shot, and now he's going to reset. So now we're just about to start again. He's got a pretty high defense stat for magic, so as you can see we're not doing a devastating amount of damage to him, even though we're using very powerful magics. Now he's repeating the turn here and do searching, so let's go ahead and heal up Tifa's MP here. We'll give her an elixir, even though she doesn't need the health up. The health needs the MP more than anything. What I might do now that I'm getting close, now that I'm pretty much we're getting very close to the end game, by the way, as far as the storyline goes. We still have some optional stuff we're going to do that we're going to kill it. We still have some optional stuff that we're going to do before we completely finish the game. But probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a shop with the others, and I'm probably going to stock up on others now that I'm so close to the end game. I don't need money for a whole lot else, so I can just stock up on others even though they're expensive. Okay, right at the top of these stairs here, we open up this chest here. Hey, this is... Receive missing score. This is Barrett's ultimate weapon. And as I said, this is not available unless Barrett is in your party. This chest will not be here, it will not open, and obviously will not have the cutscene unless you have Barrett in your party. So let's check it out real quick. Let's at least look at it as far as gearing it up. I'm probably not going to use it because of the, like all ultimate weapons, it's going to have no AP growth. But it is going to have 8 slots. It is a long-range weapon, so you can attack in the back row. And as compared to the max ray, he's actually it's not too much more powerful. You can see it only does 1 more point of attack, 10 more points of attack percentage, which is not that impressive. The attack percentage is how likely you are to hit. It's called the missing score, right? Yeah, okay, let me check this here. Missing score. There we go. Alright. Here's what my notes say about it. This weapon increases in power with the total AP of the materia in its slots. Therefore, putting master materia will result in high power. A good idea since the weapon has no materia growth anyway. Putting master materia like Master Brand and Master will not help since they are locked in 0 AP. Okay, so basically, you can probably figure out by the first line, the weapon increases in power with the total AP of the materia in its slots. So it has 8 slots. So what you want to do there is you want to put your materia with the most AP on it in those slots. Obviously, that would be your mastered materia. For one reason, it won't gain any more AP because it's a 0 growth materia. It won't grow any more materia or any more AP. And 2, your mastered materia will have the most AP growth on it, so it'll do even more damage. Now, I believe this missing score also has the potential, with the right setup, to actually do what they call overflow damage, which, in more simple terms, breaks the damage limit. The damage limit you can only max out at 99.99. No matter how much more powerful you could be than that, you can only deal a maximum of 9,999 damage in this game. But with some tweaking and not necessarily cheating, because there are items and setups you can do in this game, so it's not really cheating of any kind. With certain setups and certain things you can do with this weapon equipped, you can actually deal more than 99.99 damage. So essentially breaking the damage limit. This is one of only a very few weapons that can do that. The other one I believe is VII's ultimate weapon. I'll get to that later. But so what you want to do is you put your materia with the highest AP on these slots, and you will deal a lot more damage with missing score. Probably, in my opinion, you would probably want to put, even though it would be a little bit less useful, you would probably want to put materias that required a lot of AP in order to master them. Like if you notice, the command materials required a lot of AP. And usually they required more AP than the magic materials. So you'd probably want to put like your command materials on there. But anyway, you get the idea. You want to put your materials with the most AP possible, most of the time mastered, on these slots. It'll increase the damage of missing score. I'm not going to equip it because I already have my setup fine as is, and again, I still need to gain AP on most of the materia that I have. I do have some mastered materia, but I want the AP growth still. So that's my set. So I went ahead and show that off. Let me go ahead and heal up some MP here. Where we got others, turbo. 17 turbo others. That's enough. That's enough to fill all these out. Okay, I'm alright with that. Okay, with that done, let's continue on up here. We can actually go back and save if I want to. I'm not that worried about it. Fuck! I didn't want to fight before I got to the area. Oh, here we go. These are the soldier first. These are the ones I was talking about. These guys are going to hurt bad. So I'm going to start with regen. I'm going to enemy skill, big guard. Get our defense up. They sort of do much. Oh, it didn't kill her. Wow, that's amazing. We go ahead and hit him with the most powerful attacks we've got, like Ultima. And you can see they look just like Cloud. The color of their armor is the same, is that purple look. So these are first class soldiers. These are what Cloud. Essentially, Zack could have been among these if he wasn't dead. Let's go Zandaga. Let's go ahead and magic up here. Go ahead and let's go with it's multi-targeting. Let's focus on multi-targeting attacks first. So let's go enemy skill rather. Magic breath. We have Barrett's got a limit break here, so that's good. Silence is not going to work on Tifa because she has ribbon equipped. And her limit break is limited broken, so let's go ahead and hit him with these. Go with all hits here. And I'm not sure why... Oh, good, we got them both. Wow, made that look a lot easier than it is. Those guys are pretty hard to kill, actually. I mean, they're devastatingly powerful. I made it look really easy. You might have noticed that sometimes when they attack, their position on the field will change. You notice that second soldier, the soldier that was on the right, when he attacked Tifa, he didn't go back to where he was. He actually went only halfway back. I'm not really sure if there's anything special to that. If they can actually, by moving their position around, if it affects their attack or defense in any way, I'm not really sure. But I have noticed that when I fought them before. So if anybody knows if there's a specific reason for that, or if it maybe just a glitch in their programming, I'd really like somebody to comment and let me know about that, because I'm genuinely curious if their positioning on the field affects them in any way, because they'll move around. They'll actually, when they attack and they finish their animation and jump back, they don't always go back to where they started. They'll be sometimes a little bit closer to your party, sometimes a little away from your party. So if anybody knows, I'd really like somebody to tell me. I'd like to know that. Now, let's heal her up. Let's go and give her. Got a bunch of potions. We'll just flood her with a bunch of potions. Okay, let's head this way. And let's take on Hojo for the first time, for the last time, or however that goes. No, again, normally I would have to have Vincent in my party here because there's some extra dialogue that you would get from him. But I figured it was appropriate that we're mounting a siege on Midgar. Why not have our Midgar trio started? Actually, probably the best combination of characters for this kind of thing, storyline-wise, would probably be Vincent and Red, because remember, Red was being experimented on by Hojo, and of course we already know about the experiments done on Vincent by Hojo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whether you not blow up Midgar. I don't really care. No, we don't want to help him. Yeah, congratulations. Can we just, not let him blow up Midgar? Oh, wait, what? Son? Holy crap. Well, we now know exactly who Sephiroth's parents are. Hojo was the father, Lucretia was the mother. Now, this storyline-wise, this might be a surprise if you haven't visited Vincent's cave or Lucretia's cave yet, because you might remember that the scientist that was working with Lucretia when Vincent professed his love to Lucretia, Lucretia turned it down. You saw the scientist and Lucretia hugging at the entrance to Nibelheim. We already know who that was because we saw that particular scientist kill Professor Gast at the videos in the Icicle Inn. When we went there, we saw those recordings that Gast had taken. So this is not really that big of a surprise if you did those optional things first. Now, if you did those optional things last or didn't do them at all, this may be a surprise to you. But you kind of probably could have guessed, since we know that the scientist that shot Vincent was the one that was holding Lucretia. You'd think they were actually a couple. So easy to figure out that Hojo was actually Sephiroth's father. The woman being Lucretia. I don't remember. I lost by the last time. I'm not sure what he's referring to there. Oh, goody. And the Genova theme starts. As we take on Hojo himself. The Genova-filled Hojo. That's why he's going to look a little different here. He's kind of greenish. Alright, first let's start with limit breaks. Start with Catastrophe. And we're going to Tifa go to her limit break. Ah, fuck, I missed that one. We're going to go with all hits here to make sure we actually, well, most of them anyway. Hit. Hit, there we go. We're going to next go with Cloud and go to enemy skill. We're going to go with Big Guard. Ooh, we got a critical hit in there. Alright, go with Big Guard here. We did have damage to his first form already. He's ready to change to his second form. Usually what he'll do, in case you don't have a limit break ready, is once you attack him early, he'll throw down like 3 enemies in front of him, kind of like the enemies that we fought back in when we rescued, first rescued Red 13 from the Midgar reactor, or from Rescue Red 13 and Eris from Hojo that first time. He'll throw down enemies kind of like that. But if you obviously beat him early, he'll go to his second form, which is this right here. And he's got multiple parts to him. He's got his body and then his arm. The arm that's actually sticking up in the air, the little kind of pointy thing. That's actually 2 different parts of him. Alright, we've already beaten his arm, thanks to Tifa. Alright, let's go with Ultima here. There we've got our Big Guard up now. We should get a boost in speed. Going to put sleep on somebody. It's probably not going to work. Alright, Magic Breath. Okay. I have no problem with Tifa casting Ultima. You want to be careful though if you do have Ultima and you feel like casting it. You want to be careful because let's go with Magic Breath again. Hojo can cast Confusion, and if you cast Confusion on your character, you've already ordered them to cast Ultima. They will likely cast it on yourself and kill your entire party. That has happened to me before, and that's just embarrassing. Alright, that's enemy skills. Go down another Big Guard to keep our defenses up. And just keep hammering with all the enemy skills all the best skills we can possibly put on him. Nothing impressive there, so we'll go back to enemy skill. We'll go Magic Breath again. We'll try to put sleep on somebody. It's not going to work. I was going to go put it on Bear. Okay, that's fine. He can sleep it off. That's okay. He needs to rest anyway. Now, in case I haven't explained this before, the deal about his left arm, you got Heletic Hojo. So this form is called Heletic Hojo, by the way. Okay, there we go. We've beaten it. Now we've beaten his Heletic Hojo form. Oh, he brought. No, I was wrong. He brought his arm back. That's actually the first time I've ever seen that. My bad. Anyway, oh yeah, I was going to say the thing about Big Guard. When you cast Big Guard, it inflicts barriers and haste, as much we already know. Alright, we beat his left arm and his right arm. When he falls in like that, it's going to crawl over to him. Basically, he's going to bite himself or something. I don't know what he's going to do here. And he's changing to his third form. His third form will pop up here. It's like, there it is. And with this one, whenever you do this is called Life Form Hojo. There's only one part to him. Each one, you continue hitting with your best possible attacks, but he will always counterattack. Try to use silence, which isn't going to work. Going back to what I was saying about Big Guard, when you cast Big Guard, you cast haste and both barriers on yourself. This much we already know. When you cast Big Guard again to refortify your defenses, that is all you're going to do is refortify your defenses. You will not, haste does not stack, so you're not going to increase your speed. You only get your barriers back when you recast Big Guard. Now, you saw him do that combo attack there on Cloud just now. The thing about that combo attack is, if you have counterattack materials on, each time he attacks, he will actually counter, whoever has the counterattack material will actually counter each one of those combo hits. So while he's comboing you, you can actually hit him back each time, which is kind of nice. There's no advantage to having the counterattack material on there. I don't, but I just wanted to point that out. Alright, let's keep going with Ultima here. He's on a combo Cloud. Probably end up killing him here because he's doing a lot of damage. So let's get a Phoenix down ready for Cloud. Okay, he survived it. Never mind. Cloud's got a limit break here, so we're going to go ahead and use it. We're going to use Meteor Rain. By the way, in case you might have noticed, I used Echo Screen on Barret to get his get that silence off him, so he can continue to use Big Guard and Aqua and Magic Breath. Big Guard here to get our defenses back up. Let's go ahead and regen. We're a little low on MP with Tifa. That's okay. And we killed Hojo. And that's it. Not a very hard fight, as you can see. The only thing that he didn't do here that I didn't show off was the his first form. Like I said, will throw down. He'll do something called Capsule, I believe, and he'll throw down 3 enemies in front of him that are just they're very weak enemies. So it's not much. It's not much you have to deal with. But they're just small enemies, not too dissimilar from the way we fought that one monster in the at the top of the Shinra headquarters when we rescued Eris and Red at the same time. All you have to do at that point is really just focus on Hojo, because once you kill Hojo, those 3 enemies disappear as well. And then you see his second form. His second and third forms are not really that dangerous either. The only thing you want to make sure you avoid is being confused. He does a lot of status afflictions. Silence is not that big a deal. You cure it with Remedy or Echo Screen, or if you have a ribbon, you have to worry about it at all. What you definitely want to make sure you avoid is confusion, because you're using, at this point, a lot of high-powered magic at this point. So if you're casting Ultima a lot, like Tifa was, or Flare, like Cloud was, if either of them get confused, they don't have ribbons or some kind of status prevention from confusion, they will likely get confused, and you'll end up casting Ultima or Flare or something like that on your own party, and that'll be an instant wipe of your party. So, I know I've explained it once, but I want to make sure I got that completely clear because I'm outside of battle. Sometimes when I'm in battle explaining things, something happens and I want to point something out, so and then I sometimes forget what I'm referring to. Alright, we get 250,000 points here, which won't level up anybody. Actually, no, everybody will get a level up here, so that's nice. Get 2,500 points. And all leveled up. Our steel leveled up, which is not really that good a thing. Our lightning material leveled up. Got 6,000 gil, and we got a power source. Very nice. And with that, Hojo has been defeated, and with that, Shinra is gone. Oh yeah, and the cannon is no longer going to work anymore because we've essentially shut it off. We don't actually go up there and press any buttons or anything, but essentially that's what happens. We shut off the cannon. And with Rufus dead, and with Hojo dead, with Heidegger and Scarlet dead, Shinra is done. All that's left is Reeve, and he's going to work for us for now. So Shinra is done. Shinra is done for. Finished, as Kate Sith said. Again with the 7. That's a positive way to think about it. Right? That's quite true. If we look this over and think about this for a moment, Cloud's very right. Barrett's fighting for Marlene because he wants her to grow up in a clean, safe planet. Yuffie's fighting for Wu Tai and trying to get it, trying to restore it from being the tourist town that it is. I guess you can say Kate Sith / Reeve is fighting to. I can't really say exactly what his motives are, but he obviously doesn't agree with Shinra's tactics because he disagreed a lot with what we saw earlier in the game. Remember, we saw Reeve talk with Heidegger and the original president Shinra, not Rufus, the one before him, mentioning that he wasn't really in favor of the fall of the collapse of the Sector 7 plate falling and stuff like that. So he's probably fighting to stop Shinra and by stopping Sephiroth, which was basically a Shinra product. Red is obviously fighting for Cosmo Canyon, his hometown. Sid is probably fighting now that he's really got respect for him, probably fighting for Shara and maybe for Rocket Town. Vincent's fighting for his own past, try to settle his own, I guess you can say, make up for his sins of his past by letting Lucrecia, not fighting hard to keep Lucrecia from succumbing and falling to Hojo and his bullshit. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's everybody here. So everybody's got their motivations for saving the planet. That's true. Tifa didn't leave. Well, her house no longer belongs to her. All she had was Nibelheim. Remember, she and Cloud grew up in Nibelheim. So we're going to have a nice moment with Tifa and Cloud. Some of this dialogue will change depending on your romance level with her at this point, which can be different from what happened at the date. Because there have been times that I've played this game where I actually went on a date with somebody other than Tifa, but when I got to this point, the dialogue was a little more, I usually say a little more romantic than otherwise. There's been times when I went on a date with Tifa, and the dialogue here was actually not very romantic at all. So this dialogue can actually change here depending on your romance level with Tifa, just as easily as it was at the date. But I'll kind of just back out here and let you guys enjoy this kind of nice little scene here. He'll be alright. Yeah, I'm sure you could, Cloud. Okay. Uh-oh. What the hell? It's moving. Is somebody trying to steal the ship? Good thing we're already on board. Oh, there's Kate Sith. There's Barrett and Sid. And Red. I'm going to guess by... I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but I'm going to guess by her reaction. I'm going to wager that maybe Cloud and Tifa maybe had, had fun that night. And I guess Barrett and Sid were watching. And now Tifa's embarrassed about it. He is a pretty cool character. Uh-oh. Obviously, you got the toy working again. He's referring to himself as Reed. When he says I, he's referring to Reed, not the Kate Sith character, toy. So right now, Reed himself is in Midgar. And that's everybody, except, yeah, just one person. Okay, I'm going to point out a little something that's kind of funny here. This little dialogue, particularly this little dialogue here. The first time I'd actually played, not the first time I played this game, but the first time, okay, let me say this. First time I played this game, I didn't recruit Yuffie or Vincent, because I didn't know they were optional characters, first of all. So obviously if you didn't recruit Vincent or Yuffie, you don't get some of this dialogue here because they weren't in the party. We don't know them. But the first time I did actually recruit Yuffie to the party, I didn't go to Wutai. I didn't go to her hometown because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know I could actually go there. Some of the stuff I learned just by playing the game and reading about different characters and stuff. I thought, okay, what is this Yuffie character? I finally figured out that it's a secret character, ninja that you could find, all this other stuff that I've already shown you guys. But the first time I had actually recruited her, I didn't take her to Wutai, so I didn't do the stolen materia side quest. So with this line up here, at least this time she didn't steal my materia. I'm like, what? When did Yuffie ever steal my materia? I was completely lost on this comment until I'd actually gone back another time, recruited Yuffie, and then went to Wutai and got my materia stolen. So now that line makes sense. The first time I saw it, I was like, what? Yuffie never stole my materia. What are they talking about? So this is a little funny story I thought I might point out there. And there she is, hiding somewhere in the rafters of the ship, I guess. Nice. Anyway, she's going to return to her reserved seat in the hall, as she said. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you don't. And they're playing, of course, Eris's theme here because Red had to bring up her. And at this point, we know who she is. We know who we're talking about now. We're far from the last battle, by the way. Let's move out. Sid's going to fiddle with those 2 new controls he found. We're going to get a fancy cutscene here where, end of part 2, where the High Wind gets an upgrade. All the propellers get blown off, and now we got supercharged jet engines, I guess, on the High Wind. Uh-oh, something's wrong. And the rest of the crew came back to help. And with that, we have finished part 2, or if you're playing the original 2 version, the original PC, or the original PlayStation version, we are done with Disc 2. And about to begin part 3, or Disc 3, and I will start part 3, or Disc 3, next time in the next episode of Final Fantasy VII. Don't forget to like and subscribe, check out the links at the end of this video for more of my videos, and thanks so much for watching. I'm Scoryth, the Crimson Renegade, and I'll see you later.